Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tearing down the messy, complicated reality of bringing extended reality, or XR, into educational spaces. Because trust me, we're moving way beyond just unboxing some shiny new hardware today. If you've ever been hyped about the promise of virtual or augmented reality in the classroom, only to watch it totally fizzle out, well, you are definitely not alone.
You know the story. It's a frustratingly common one shared in our source material. A faculty member gets incredibly excited about immersive learning. They go out, they hustle, they score a grant, and they buy a bunch of brand new VR headsets. But then, crickets. The initiative just stalls out completely, right there in the boxes, before a single meaningful class even happens. It's the classic graveyard of stalled VR headsets.
So, what gives? This begs a massive question for anyone trying to innovate in this space. If the hardware is literally sitting right there in the classroom, ready to roll, why on earth are these projects flatlining? What is the invisible barrier tripping everyone up?
Well, we're going to figure that out. First, we'll look at the XR implementation stall. Then why systems thinking matters, followed by the XR learning ecosystem, revealing those hidden dependencies, and finally, we'll map out the XR flight plan.
All right. Kicking things off with part 1, the XR implementation stall. Here's the massive trap people fall into. Institutions treat XR like it's just a trip to the electronics store. They think, hey, we bought the headsets, our job is done. But they completely underestimate the absolute logistical beast required to make it actually work. Immersive learning is not a standalone technology transaction, guys. It's a coordinated operational plan that requires serious, long-term sustainability. Just picture this for a second. You've got 40 students walking into a room, all strapping on headsets at the exact same time. Did that initial grant account for the heavy-duty, enterprise-level Wi-Fi needed to handle 40 simultaneous immersive streams without totally crashing the campus network? Usually no, because everyone was obsessed with acquiring the headsets, not keeping the network from going up in flames.
Which leads us perfectly into part 2, why systems thinking matters.
If we want to avoid that headset graveyard we just talked about, we have to stop looking at the tech in a total vacuum. We need to adopt systems thinking. By treating XR as a socio-technical ecosystem, you finally start seeing the invisible hurdles. You can anticipate those brutal bottlenecks, like fighting with mobile device management systems or recognizing the massive cognitive load dumping on your faculty. It lets you coordinate all the stakeholders before a breakdown ruins your entire lesson.
Okay, moving right along to part 3, the XR learning ecosystem.
This concept map from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University is an absolute game changer. Just look at the complexity here. It makes a bold argument. Learning effectiveness does not come from the tech alone. It only emerges when you coordinate across 8 distinct interconnected domains. It's this massive, beautiful web of institutional, technical, instructional, operational, and human systems all working together.
Let's actually break this down, starting with the technical backbone. IT infrastructure is huge. Enterprise IT has to be at the table from day one to handle cybersecurity, static IP management, and MDM selection. Then you've got XR development. You're vetting apps, right? But what if commercial apps don't fit your specific learning targets? Well, developers might literally have to build custom simulations from scratch in Unity or Unreal Engine.
Then there's classroom logistics, the operational reality. Let's be real. Who is actually charging and sanitizing 40 headsets between back-to-back classes? Where are they even stored? These gritty logistics get ignored during the honeymoon grant writing phase. But if setup and teardown takes 20 minutes, your class time is completely ruined. It will paralyze your instructional flow.
And obviously, we can't forget the human element. Faculty experience is a big one. Teachers aren't just teaching anymore. In an XR setup, they're suddenly operational coordinators dealing with massive cognitive overhead and stress. And for the student experience, they need serious onboarding. You have to handle usability, mitigate motion sickness, ensure accessibility, and make absolutely sure you aren't overwhelming their cognitive load.
Right at the center is the pedagogical core, teaching and learning. Because here's a hard truth. XR developers are amazing, but they usually aren't pedagogy experts. That means instructional designers have to step in. They are the critical integration layer that ensures this whole thing isn't just a flashy, expensive novelty, but an experience deeply aligned with evidence-based teaching practices and your actual course objectives.
Wrapping this whole thing up are the institutional drivers. You've got leadership and funding. You absolutely need faculty champions to secure those grants and plan for sustainability. But how do you keep the money flowing long-term? That's where research comes in. Doing the assessments and navigating the IRB generates the hard evidence of learning effectiveness. That's the proof leadership relies on to justify continuous funding and scaling. It's a vital feedback loop.
All right, part 4, revealing hidden dependencies.
So if we know all 8 domains, why do things still go off the rails? It comes down to the classic iceberg metaphor. It's all about what's visible versus what's hidden. You want student engagement? Well, that visibly cool metric is entirely dependent on the hidden work of onboarding and usability support. Want flawless classroom implementation? You'd better have rock-solid faculty readiness backing it up. Making these hidden dependencies visible is literally the only way to anticipate disasters before they happen.
And that brings us to our final section, the XR flight plan.
So how do we actually do this? The sources give us a brilliant 5-step operational pathway called the XR flight plan. It takes all this complex systems thinking and makes it chronological and actionable. Step 1, you're planning and finding your champions. Step 2, you're coordinating network infrastructure. Step 3 is integrating the actual XR development. Step 4 gets into the messy realities of classroom implementation. And Step 5, evaluating learning effectiveness so you can continually improve and scale.
At the end of the day, there's a massive mental shift that has to happen here. We have to completely abandon this isolated short-term headset acquisition mindset. Just buying gear isn't enough. We have to embrace the complex, interdependent reality of building a sustainable XR ecosystem. It's never just about the hardware, it's about the entire institutional system holding it up.
Which leaves us with a final, pretty crucial question for you to take back to your own teams. When you look at the future of immersive learning on your campus, are you just buying headsets or are you actively building a sustainable ecosystem?